Yeah, well, I did study Spanish for a few months. First in Los Angeles for maybe 2-3 months every day, 5 days a week. In the beginning I was doing 8-hour days, and then my teacher told me, like, I think this 8-hour day thing is really intense. Why don't we like reel back to 5-hour days? And then yeah, we were doing these. But I had a lovely teacher, which is I think the reason I really was able to like get my teeth into it, because I just kept wanting to keep going with her and get better and better. And she was just this really benevolent, patient, wonderful teacher. So I really think she's a big part of why I got so into it. And yeah, apart from that, then I went to Santiago. I was living with Sebastian's family, practicing Spanish, and he showed up eventually. He wasn't there for a while, it was just me and them. And then when he showed up, we just, we would spend time together and do things in the city, and every day, probably once a day, we would end up talking about the movie just because we were both excited about the movie and talk about the character, and yeah, like kind of unwittingly it was like really marinating, and we were finding little things for the character and kind of finding how to do it, and it all went into the soup. Well, I had seen his film The Maid, and I really loved The Maid, and after seeing that I thought I'd like to meet this filmmaker. I didn't know if he spoke English or anything. It turned out he lives in New York and he speaks English, and we had very similar sensibility and kind of sense of humor, and we got along right away. It was pretty easy to just be friends, and yeah, then we just sort of said, well, let's maybe work together, find something, and then he sent me this script, and the character was Chilean in the script at first, and then I said to him, can this person be American? And it just came together. Geez, I don't know. I mean, for me, I didn't have anything half as challenging as Juno had to do physically and emotionally in the movie. I mean, she's like doing these scenes where we're shooting for like 7 hours, doing one scene where she's like ferociously crying, and I think that's very physically draining. So watching her do that was impressive, and I felt for her. And then she has to jump in freezing cold water with clothes on in the middle of the night and like jump into this black void. That stuff I was really impressed that she was able to do it. It was very scary. It was really strange, really strange, and very fun, and just totally uncanny and unbelievable. And I was just always going through waves of processing what was happening, because it's not something that you're conditioned to expect. When a TV show is canceled, you're like, you can move on, it's done. So it's weird to come back, and we were always struggling just to keep our heads above the water, and, getting to work with all those people again was something I never really expected. I think it's possible. I think the story can keep going. Merits more. So we'll see. It probably is very hard to pull off.